Hey guys, welcome. I'm Spanets, and we are gonna do a strategic analysis of a game titled "Why Every Decision Matters," and we are gonna commemorate this episode to 8 years of existence of SUNTZU clan. So we have a true SUNTZU party running here. It's me, SUNTZU Magic, PrimalMalice, who still didn't change his name, and SUNTZU EvilEnosh in a group. And I have an amazing game for you. I promise you that. Like, this one is really hard to process because of all the macro gameplay, but also besides that there is lots of micro individual bad and good decisions and moves that actually decided the outcome of the game. And we also have an example of how someone can ruin the game at the very last moment for you. So spoiler alert, we are gonna lose this one, but you're gonna see how amazing it was. I hope I'm not gonna miss anything that happened, because it was really intense and hard to process. I'm not gonna focus on what the team did, I'm just gonna focus on what we did, because team, as you can see, we have a disconnected archer and he's gonna come into play later on. It's gonna be a really big issue, and they also have a actually cataphract player that was disconnected from the start, so some bad luck for them. We also had elephants that we didn't see, and there is like so much to process here. So we are actually going to try to establish the control of the vision tower. What's bad here is that we are vastly outnumbered, because team is not committing to this. They decided to fight down below, but as you can see, Enosh can land his shots all the way from there to the middle. And what's good here is that they do not have actually long-range missile units. That's really good, because all we have are jabs, and we cannot commit to fighting that terribly. Now, there was some dissonance here between Magic and Primal, so Magic took a little bit more damage than he should have. Like, as you can see here, there is approaching... oh, just pay attention to this, I'm gonna come back to this later. Yep, that happened. We are gonna process that. Like, basically here, this player used moment where he can approach and try to threaten them both. And since Magic does not want his player to get hit, he charged frontally. And now he's gonna pull back, but yep, it's really costly. And this puts them in a vicious circle where they are fighting numerically superior enemy with even tier 9 units, and they are actually stronger than tier 10s in row trades because of the raised shields. It's really potent, so it puts Primal in a bad position, it puts Magic in a bad position. It wasn't a bad move, it was a miscommunication, and I remember how it was in game. If they pulled back on time, it wouldn't go like this, where Magic is gonna take massive damage on both units for basically no reason. But let's take a look what happened here. So 3 units of Harbingers charged a standstill unit in Forest Marsh, and they took it down to 2.7k HP out of like less than 10% of total HP, but unit kept 97 of its models. And this is a problem, because now it's gonna take forever to kill them, like additional 15 seconds or something, to actually execute a unit that has no fighting value and that has no models left, but can still like kill your archers and stuff if it's allowed to. So you need to eliminate it from the ground, and it took for a while. Now boys are trading here, and it's not looking too good for us. And then we realized, oh damn, they have heavy RT, it's gonna be really rough. So I'm gonna apply some additional pressure here, because I want them to see me. I want them to like spread up to relieve this point here. And now we have some guys coming in. They are gonna approach this battle. It looks good for a moment, but these guys are gonna die a terrible death, because like it wasn't. Now Harbs, yep, there is so much to process in this game. Basically, Enosh is repositioning. You're gonna see why it's important. Harbs caught the jabs, and jabs actually had caltrops. I don't know why they reacted so badly, but this is the part where we kill them. Magic is struggling here to hold them. It's a little dance they are doing around this cliff where you cannot see your enemy to shoot at him. And I've missed to show you this nice charge. And now, like, these units are getting separated. It's gonna be very good for us when these guys turn, but as you can see, these guys are getting crushed. This is very bad approach what this player is doing. He's actually making 3 units in such a narrow formation that now he's gonna take some more damage. But lucky for us, Jav players are dying off, and it's very good. So this is part where I actually want to commit one of my units, even though as Barb you cannot do so. And I'm actually committing because I can route and execute these units, making sure they are out of the game. And also I have my cooldowns ready, so fighting Phalanx in Defiance, if the player is not very good and if he doesn't keep you away from him, it can be really beneficial for you. So you basically do want to fight Phalanx in Defiance, because your models cannot die off. Even though on tier 10 Leonidas, you don't want to fight that guy. Like, if you don't have 3 fires on him, don't fight him. Like, that's my advice. So basically, Malice is here in a rough spot, but he's gonna make it out. And since I believe he was silencing here. Yeah, I think he was silencing. This player could not charge, so he just turned away because he knows it's not worth it. And we are burning some Phalanx here. Another charge comes in, so Javs are about to die off, but this was very costly and taxing for our spears, and it's gonna put us in some tough position. But check this out, like this tiny little play from Enosh. He disassembled, he dropped engine, whipped, and now he's gonna abuse the stakes mechanic because devs for some reason refused to fix it, so this cav is screwed even though it was already charging. So now he's just gonna route it because that's like how bad cav is. And meanwhile, we are continuing to fight. Now, this is good because we are clearing this zone. We have the zone under control, to say, but we have lost so many units, and it starts to show up on the score. As you can see, this damage that's incoming from Primal is quite massive, and he's gonna start clearing these units left and right. I made a tiny mistake here. I should have pulled back with this unit earlier so he can shoot more clearly on them, but it was okay. It was a decent trade. And now, since this is one of the things you can do with Vercingetorix. Why is Vercingetorix so nasty? I basically turned here. I could have run out, but I returned on purpose. You pop Iron Discipline, and why I'm doing that? Because I've noticed that, hey, these guys are dead, and now like 10 of melee units are about to chase us. And what do we have? We have only 1 spear unit, and I cannot allow them to go there. So I basically want to bait them back here. And I bait them by waiting for them to come in like sharks to collect the kill. But I have Iron Discipline, I can route, I pop Defiance, and now they are locked. They can either turn and lose a couple of models and waste time, or they can stay and burn. And this is such a huge major victory for us, because that's 4 units not chasing them in following somewhat, I don't know how many seconds. So we are a little bit stretched. This player decided that he wants to like help or something, and he charged infantry. You probably shouldn't do this as Barb, because during pullout you're gonna lose so many units. I'm ditching this one because it's useless at this moment. This one is also eliminated, and now the map is clearing out, and we know for a long time that they have artillery on this position. We know it's the major problem. Like, all of these units, we can deal with that because we can outrun them and we can outtrade with them, and we do not fear these. But we know that the main enemy force that we must fight is here, and we cannot approach it. So I'm actually gonna continue committing to this fight because I have cooldowns. I made a slight mistake here because I didn't want my unit with commander to fight such a strong unit of enemy infantry. So he's actually routing because of their own smoke, and that was cute. It helped us. So I'm popping my Defiances here because basically, as long as Defiance is running, you do not care about trading. You're always gonna trade positively. Like, you keep your models and you do major damage to the enemy, but it doesn't like matter to you that much. So the game looks really bad for us. As you can see, Defiance does some decent damage, and this is how you do a pull out with barbs. Here, I'm just gonna slam them as far as I remember, and now you walk out because half of his models are on the ground. He's not hitting you as hard as he should be, and you are quicker, so you just walk out. Although here it fails. Why it failed? Because he used strike at the approximately similar time as I did, and most of my units ended up on the ground, so you cannot run out. But now it suits me to wait here and to let these guys get hurt. And Artie keeps being this major problem we have. Cav is also dancing around, but these mobile units mostly can deal with it, so they are in a decent spot, and I decide to push the issue and to see what is it that's waiting for us up the hill. Now, considering at this moment we still didn't see two players, we knew like they have two players up there. It's 200 points, and it looks tough to deal with, but let's try, sure. At no moment you should give up on the game, especially if you are in the party and if you have a multitude of tools to deal with the enemy. So I'm approaching this from the two sides. I was actually hoping for a second that maybe I can bait his infantry away, but then as I approach, I realized, hey, they have so many units here. It's 6 units waiting for us, and now we have dealt with everything else on the map, but it's 2 players on almost full HP. So I'm just gonna bait this guy here. I'm kiting the other one away, and you remember these guys? Yep, that's the disconnected infantry from the start of the game. And now I basically realize, hey, I saw the archer unit here, and we have an archer unit, additional one. It's not the one that died. I want them to join the fight, and this is the part where I'm starting to control them because I'm not under that much pressure, because my units are wasted and I can actually focus a little bit more on the side units. So yep, I'm sending them back here. Our whole team is rotating. Hold on, pardon me. My camera switched. We're just gonna fix that for a second. Here it is. And now I'm back to, like, I routed these 2 units, and now I'm back to harassing them. Now, when you watch the game after the game itself, it's very easy to spot the obvious solution. The obvious solution was Enosh taking these hills, like spreading a little bit and taking these hills and taking some decent positions to shoot down on them, maybe like from here one, like from here the second one, and from here, or maybe even here, the third one. And if he spreads, all we have to do is maintain vision, and then he can land shots. But during the game, when you're under so much pressure and when you see this score, it's like really hard to think of, and someone needs to call it out, and maybe he's overwhelmed. So basically, it was a tiny mistake we did, but it also was a problematic issue to deal with. So what we are doing here is breaking Testudo with like these gentle taps from spears and killing them off. My role here is mostly harassing these guys so they cannot turn attention to my teammates. And I look at this. I almost routed, and lucky me, I walked out, but I was getting iron discipline in 1 second. It was like, ooh, not this moment in the game. So even though these units are very spent, I still have some okay models, like 30 models, and you can do a decent fire with that. So I'm just gonna try to bait this out. Like, I used my fire and now I want to waste their time. And the archer unit is approaching. We are gonna speed this up. So basically we are spending them slowly. The thing, it's all about trading. And now this is where the real issue followed. This is me ordering the unit to attack the RT because I know it holds 100 points. And then teammate, some of these guys, I don't know who, for some reason decides to switch the target, and then I'm back at shooting them. Then we take damage from the RT. Someone again clicks on the infantry unit. I don't know for what reason, but the person who did that really kept torturing me, and it's tilting, and it's not productive as it could be. So we are actually at this moment struggling to remain control of it. Now, what happened to Enosh, you ask? Well, at one moment we forgot that they have extra infantry unit, and he got in trouble and killed. I forgot to show that because, as you can see, there is so much to process in this game. So I'm kiting, and when my iron discipline falls off, I'm gonna lose one extra model too much, and I'm not gonna be able to scout as effectively. Now this unit is still out of position because someone keeps using it, and it's a tool we need to win this game. And I'm gonna show you why it was so crucial. Pardon me, I'm just gonna stop doing this. Why it was so crucial in the late game that we shoot down these RTs, because they hold 100 points in them. And this was my last death breath. Like, Enosh is trying to reposition somewhere useful. We got no tools, and as you can see here by controls, I was fighting someone for control of the unit. Someone wants the unit to shoot this, and that's just not what we need. Why is that important? Because we are at the very end of the game, and now look at their points drop. Like, this is me trying to kill these, and it's going really well, and for a moment it looked, oh, we can make it, but nope, because someone, as you can see, against orders them to attack the infantry. But it wasn't, we didn't feel bad. Like, we knew why we lost. We lost because we made a couple of tactical errors on the start of the game, and then a player kind of refused to cooperate and thought that he had the situation under control, but he didn't understand what's happening in the game. Basically, as you could have seen in this game, it matters. Your cooldowns matter, your range matters in taking fights, your communication inside the team matters, your micro matters, because if Enosh was not so aware, we would have to commit infantry unit to protect him, but he was like, nope, I got it. Then he kills the cav on his own because of mechanic in game that's available to him, even though I think the mechanic itself is broken. Then we use cooldowns. Well, we really did a lot in set game, and as you can see, Malice really outputted some major damage to them, but it all was not enough because this RT player was way too well protected and we didn't utilize all the tools we had. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget, during this whole month there is a series of events commemorating 8 years of SUNTZU clan. Thank you for attention, and see ya.